Hi, this is Steve Froud, and this is the third in a series of 3 videos explaining how to play Kingmaker, the solo challenge. Having just completed a battle in the second video in which both bot and player lost a noble, let's continue the game into a parliament called by bot, and then close these videos by explaining how to win. My 2023 version of Kingmaker arrived just as I finished filming, so you'll notice in this video that I'm using prototype components. So, let's get to it.
Okay, player turn 3. So I've adjusted the numbers here. Player now has 310 total troops, bots 380, so the gap has closed with player gaining troops and bot just losing them. So now player's got a bit of a dilemma. I love the stories. Kingmaker's all about the stories. So while things are going on well for bot up there, player has got a dilemma. Does he go and further weaken bot, which will make them almost equal numbers of troops, or does he go and collect Henry now that he's got over 300 and can besiege London? Well, this is beginning to look a bit juicy with 4 cards in the Chancery. If bot was to get a writ, we could end up with a parliament. So player is going to go for London. That's my current thinking. Being player, that's what I want to do. First up, event card. Constable of the Tower of London is not in play. Marshal of England is not in play. Mowbray to Castle Rising and the Marshal of England. Again, unusually, not much happening with the events at the moment. So player moves his pieces, trying to get his strength as much as possible all in one place. I'm going to go to Northampton since he still has control of Shrewsbury and is able to use the road system. Keeps him nice and central just in case something untoward happens. Ships are distributed around the coast. So that is player's move. As you can see, we're rattling through the game now. Once you've used the player aids a few times, bot turns are so much quicker and you're down to actually making decisions by player. What I didn't do last turn, I've just noticed, is De Vere has not moved. Well, he would have moved up closer to the battle up there, as close as he can get. And he'll end up on the road because that's the default if there's a tie between 2 locations. Again, same applies, but player wouldn't spend time going to get him. It puts him too close to this big stack and he really wants to get control of London. So that is player's turn. Takes a crown card. Oh, just the stuff he wants. Okay, so I'm going to give that to I'm going to give it to Hastings because he gets called away to less events. So I need to adjust my scorecard, and that is the end of player's third turn.
So, bot's fourth turn, event phase. Oh, bot has now got a writ, but there are still 2 kings. So next up is reveal crown cards. Yes, the number is less than the number of crown cards. It's a 2 on the dice. So we put down any nobles that have been revealed. We hold these 2 cards back until we've identified a target. So the next thing to do is to work our way down and identify a target.
going to be a bit more complicated this turn because there's nothing obvious in this area. Defend the king. They're already stacked. No chancellor. Take control of a single crown royal piece. Take control of the senior royal piece. Too far away. He's down in London. Crown a piece. Already crowned. If bot does not control a royal piece, irrelevant. Turn one only, irrelevant. Attack player, not going to be possible. I don't think De Vere is going to try it on his own. Besiege a fortified location, and they are, in this order of priority, Shrewsbury, London and South Wingfield. Purpose of that is to get bot control of the road system. If player does not have a royal piece, take control of a royal piece on the mainland of England and Wales from the house in which bot does not control a piece. So, Edward Lancaster can't reach. Press forward, which basically means you can't reach anything. So you start again at the top of the list and you work your way down to the highest priority target, even if you can't reach it this turn. Well, the highest priority target is going to be, not surprisingly, King Henry VI, wasting himself away in London. So that's the target that bot is going to choose. Can bot reach it? Does not apply because the target is actually pressed forward now. Does he have appropriate control? No. Does he have enough troops for combat? When he gets there, yes, he's got over 300 troops, so he can besiege London. Is it too risky? Just do a quick calculation on the troop strengths. So Audley is only going to add another 10 for bot, so it's not going to make any significant difference. And there's only one place he can come on, which is there, so I'll just pop him on there to keep it simple. So bot's got 390 troops in total, but there's 50 sitting over here, so he's got 340. Player has also got 340 in this stack here. However, bot is not outnumbered, so he won't be inhibited by the presence of that stack as long as all of these can get together. So, assuming that they can all get together, and I'll sort that out in a second. Take control of a royal piece. Well, the criteria still apply as they did before, and Stanley wasn't interested then. Award crown cards. Well, the target is London. If we go to the awarding crown cards, bot player aid, what we need to give out are towns, so we can run down to the point at which we define key nobles. So the 3 nobles with the most troops that can reach the target. Well, reaching the target is anywhere on the way to London, so it's basically the 3 nobles, bot nobles with the most troops. So if we were to take Audley down here and put Percy up there, Percy, Roos and Cromwell are the 3 nobles with currently, no, they're not. Going to have to roll between these 2, but Cromwell gets it because he's called to less events than Stanley. So they are the 3 key nobles. And we hand the towns out, as we did at the beginning of the game, to the noble with the least towns. So randomly assign them. Okay, now both Percy and Cromwell have got 1 each, so we're going to roll 1, 2, 3 for Percy. Percy gets Swansea as well, so that's Swansea and Newcastle. Newcastle up there, Swansea down there, marked up. So bot has awarded the crown cards, and continuing down the sequence of play, move to the target. Well, the target is going to be the area that is closest to King Henry VI in London that bot can get to. with roads as a tiebreaker. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if he goes this other way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're both on roads, but quite clearly that's going to be closer to London. So we're going to go and visit Eccleshall. So then the next activity is to move to that position. All bot nobles that can reach. Yep. And De Vere comes down the road, finally combining with his fellow usurpers. So then that is Bot's movement. However, they have now moved south of the River Trent, which influences the ships. Oh, before the ships, I better do some movement of Stanley. Now Stanley can actually get there without his ship, so off he goes again. Right, maybe he will actually achieve it this time. Back to the ships, the south of the Trent, which means that they will now congregate here. So, what does he have? It's the ship of Berwick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the ship of Douglas. So they will both go and wait there. Why there? Because Bot hasn't got his biggest stack in Devon and Cornwall or Wales. If they were, they would go over here. And it's not north of the Trent. If they were, they would go down here. So anywhere else, which is basically the southeastern side of England, they move onto the western coast. That's the logic behind the ship movement. There is no combat. There is no parliament. There's no coronation. End of turn phase. Bot gets another card. That's the end of Bot's turn 4. Okay, one thing I will add at this point is that although press forward to take Henry was the target last turn, that target may change when we go through the target list for this turn. For example, if player was to leave some strong nobles nearby, he might attack that, or in fact besieging Shrewsbury, which he can achieve this turn, might become the target. So the purpose of press forward is basically to pull Bot back in from the periphery, even though that may not be the target that Bot eventually attacks, because Bot selects a different target each turn. What I've done now, I mean, this is great fun. I'm enjoying this. I love the stories. I've actually adjusted the position of the Plague in London card in the pack. It was right at the bottom, so this is complete fabrication of the way the game would now develop. It's player's 4th turn, and we have Plague in London. The reason I'm doing this is just to show you the last set of major rules, which is if Bot calls Parliament. So Henry is now dead. Player, let's assume players are getting a little bit desperate, but so he goes to besiege Margaret of Anjou, risking an attack from Bot. Yep, just about. Bot would have a majority. Bot may not choose to do that because looking at the combat selection table, it's possible that we are going to be in the, well, we will be probably in this yellow area, and so that combat may not proceed. We'll have a look and see what happens in the Bot's turn. But first up, we've got the siege of the castle here. Will player move any of his ships? They're all spread out reasonably well. No, not at the moment. So we will pull a card for the siege, and we're looking to see if anybody dies. Mowbray and De Vere, not belonging to players. That siege is now successful. Margaret of Anjou, now the heir to the throne, is captured by a player. Player takes a new card. More Burgundian crossbowmen. We'll give those to Courtney. So player's strength is beginning to build up after that initial reverse. Okay, so Bot's turn 5 now. And again, I'm giving you a full explanation of the rules. So I've deliberately created an embassy from the Duke of Brittany. The King, Richard of York, goes to Weymouth. Now, the rules allow any nobles with the King that belong to Bot to travel with him. And not surprisingly, they all go. So now Bot works his way down the target selection. Defend the king, no problem. Defend the chancellor. Take control of a single crown royal piece. He has the single crown royal piece. Take control of a senior royal piece. That's here. Okay. But it's too far away. He can't reach. Next, number 5. Summon Parliament. If there's at least 2 cards in the Chancery and the requirements are met for Bot to summon Parliament, then Bot will do so. Are the requirements to call Parliament met? Well, Bot controls the Sole King. He has a writ. He can reach an unfortified town in which to call Parliament. We reveal the card here in Bot's hand. It's another noble. It's not in play yet. That depends on whether there is Parliament or not. Bot will summon Parliament in an unfortified town if, when looking at these cards, all of them could go to Bot, or Bot will get 2 more offices than player will. So the outcome of that is that could go there, that could go there, and they could go as well. So Bot can hand all these cards out from the Chancery to Bot. So if the senior royal piece of a house is with 1 player noble, that's the one that be summoned. Well, it isn't, so Bot will summon the player noble with the most troops. Oh, actually, these two both have the same. Oh, no, it is now Mowbray. Mowbray is summoned to the Parliament. Parliament is definitely happening, so Berkeley now comes into play. Player now decides which nobles will attend. Well, he's about to get severely outnumbered, so actually he's going to leave Courtney on his own. So pick up these cards. First we give out the titles, and we use the usual rules for awarding cards. They go to the noble with the most troops, the one called to less events if tied. So we've got these 2 offices to give out. They're both the same number of troops. both called to the same number of events. So 1, 2, 3, it'll be the top card. It's the Duke of Exeter, goes to the noble with the most troops who does not have a title. Second card, these two nobles are equal in terms of troops, and they're both called 0 times 2 events. De Vere can't have another title. 1, 2, 3 goes to Berkeley. Then we come down to awarding the 2 offices. Same number of troops. This one's called least often, so it goes in first. Goes to the noble with the most troops, which is Stanley. And the other one is going to have to go. Well, these two have now got the same number of troops, and they're both called once to event. So 1, 2, 3 will be Berkeley. No, De Vere finally gets into the game with an office. That then is the end of the Parliament. Now, at the end of a Parliament, Bot is enabled to re-award all his cards. So he cannot re-award titles and offices. It's all the others. Okay. In fact, the offices can come out as well. This is done basically to rebalance Bot's hand. Titles cannot be repositioned at this point, and then we work our way down the awarding cards. Bot player aid. We just put them in order to speed things up. Okay. Let's look at the offices first. Bot has 4 offices. They're all worth 100 troops. 0, 1, 1 and 5 events that they are called to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to decide between those. So that's the correct order they're going to be handed out to. So now they go to the noble with the most troops who doesn't have an office. So this is going to change around quite dramatically now. Percy gets the first one. Stanley with 70 gets the next one. Roos with 50 gets one. Berkeley gets the last one. So then mercenaries, we try and even up the number of troops. So whichever one of these nobles got the least troops between the 3 key nobles, and they are now the ones with the most troops. Percy, Roos and Stanley. So who's got least? Roos. $50, $70, $120, $50, $120, $150. Could go to either. 1, 2, 3 goes to Roos. Yeah, so Roos gets that. Then towns are given out randomly between the same 3 nobles. So let's pick them randomly. So now towns are going to be given out randomly to the noble in descending troop orders, troop numbers for the top 3 nobles. There are 2 more to give out. So that's the towns given out. There is a ship which now goes to the noble with the most troops, which is going to be okay. So that is the end of the bot parliament.
Lastly, how do you win? Player wins in the normal way for Kingmaker Classic by having the last surviving royal piece crowned. Bot, however, wins by having a crowned royal piece when there are no pieces of the other house on the mainland of England and Wales. It is assumed that they've gone into exile while the family of the crowned piece swear their allegiance. Bot wins. The usual rules for both apply. Alternatively, for the solo game, either bot or player can win with an overwhelming military victory by having at least 400 troops and over 4 times more troops than their opponent. If you achieve that, congratulations. The Wars of the Roses are over. So, you've seen everything you need to know about Kingmaker, the solo challenge. Have a great game.